I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. I'd like to call this July 18th, 2023 workshop meeting for the Board of Supervisors to order. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll keep my comments brief so we have more time for public comment. We are going to have a 2 minutes so everyone has time to talk. We have to be out of this building by 8 o'clock according to the school board. The public comments will end at 7:30, so we'll then have time to vote on the sale of the sewer system. Anyone that doesn't know, when you restrooms are out the door to your left, if you need the restrooms. So just a couple things. I appreciate everyone's input. I know we're not the most popular people in the township right now, but I do appreciate your input. We have heard your input by email, some phone calls. I want to use social media, so which is probably good, I hear. But I think we had a relatively decent meeting last time, but I'd like to do better this time. Anyone that has a chance to speak will not be interrupted by us, and hopefully no one in the crowd yells out. Let them talk, get their 2 minutes in so the next person can talk. I don't want this meeting to be, you can have your feelings about us. That's fine, you're entitled to your own feelings, but I don't want this to be a public attack on us tonight. We're here just doing a job. We never started this process with the intentions of doing anything detrimental to anyone, no matter what you may or may not think. We didn't get together 18 months ago and say, hey, let's see how we can take money from the residents of the township. That wasn't the case. We did start this with good intentions. That's basically all I have. There will be no yelling out. If you're yelling out and disrupting the meeting, you'll get one warning. You will then be asked to leave or you will be removed. All right. With that being said, we'll start public comment. We had two lists. We had people that signed up online. They're going to be first to talk. Then after that, all the people that signed up in person can talk. So first to speak is Deb McKiernan.
Hello, Deb McKiernan, 15 South Ben Hogan Drive, Edders. There's a total number of households of 7,376 in this borough, in the township. 3,500 of them approximately are on the sewer. That means there's 48% of us affected by these unnecessary additional costs. By year 3, it's at least $555 increase. That's taxing through the tap for the township-wide benefit. The entire tax base should incur these expenses. If you need additional revenue, which that has not been stated, but if you do need additional revenue, an increase of $136 for all households would create $1 million a year extra. This transaction would establish an unequal treatment of township residents and businesses. The proceeds would be used to benefit the entire township, yet only 48% of the township will suffer the cost. The proposed transaction is an inequitable solution to raise funds for the township-wide projects that the township has in mind, including the mitigation of potential future tax increases or whatever you choose to use the funds. I have these figures since you can write it down. I request a no vote.
Okay, thank you. Next we have Dr. Long.
Am I allowed to save my time to the garage? You don't need your
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he'll have 2 minutes also, but yes, that's fine.
Yeah, my name is Doug Ross. I'm a resident of Fairview Township, but I have a business in Newberry and I pay taxes to Newberry. I was asked by Beth to come out and give an explanation of what happened in Fairview Township when the sewer system was sold. Back in 2014, Fairview residents paid about what Newberry residents pay now, about $150 a quarter. 2015, the sewer system was sold to Pennsylvania American Water Company. Now it's a monthly bill. It's tied to our water usage, and my bill for well, it's monthly, but if I add up the last 3 months, I paid $453. So I pay about triple what Newberry Township residents pay. For everybody who's here in the audience, as long as the township owns the asset, you have a say, you have a voice. You can come out and give your opinion. But as soon as it's sold, you have no say. It's owned by a corporation. You pay whatever bill comes. You don't have any say in anything. I can't, I'm not voting yay or nay because I'm not a township resident. But anyway, that's all I have to say.
Thank you for your input. I know I'm going to mess this up again. Jason? Christine. I said it wrong every time, so. I'll get it right one of these times.
Well, I just drove back from the Poconos just for this, and as you can see from the people that are in the crowd, the people do not want this sewer sold. So I'm imploring you not to sell the sewer. The benefits don't outweigh the consequences of this decision. I, as many others, would rather see tax or sewer costs increase and the township maintain a key asset that we have. Don't you find it funny we bought the sewer for $100,000 in 1991 and now York Water wants to pay $53 million for it? Either something doesn't add up or we have something pretty valuable that we should hold on to. I hope that you don't think that you know better than us, that we want to go against our will, because the people's and the numbers don't add up, and anyone with common sense can see that. Short-term benefits never outweigh long-term planning and management. It's time for to step up and do what's right for the people of the township. Vote no to the sewer, start living within our means, and make our long-term plans for how we can move forward and become a great township we can become. If you sell this, that won't happen. And in the long run, we'll destroy the township financially, no matter what PMF is trying to tell you. They're only here for their $1 million payout, and the people of this township don't want it. Rest assured, if you pass this and sell the sewer, we will be fighting on every front for you to stop this, for the people of Newberry Township.
Thank you. Chris Quintana?
Today, we are faced with a great magnitude that seeks to disrupt the core of our community, the proposed sale of our public sewer system. Let me be unequivocal. This matter is not opposing progress or new ideas. We all understand need for innovation, evolution, and adaptation. But this is about affirming the values that we hold as a community. It's about preserving control over a critical resource that affects each of us every single day, the sewer. In moments like these, we must critically examine the narrative of privatization and of selling public utilities. Yes, there's a certain allure to immediate infusion of funds, a fix for budget shortfalls or police stations. Yet we must not let the promise of short-term gains overshadow the potential of long-term implications in perpetuity. When we privatize a public utility, we inherently shift the focus from serving the community for the greater good to generating profit from the needs of our citizens to the demands of the shareholders. As we examine the potential fallout of this decision, we cannot overlook the impacts of our senior citizens. 14% of our township is comprised of people who have given their time, their sweat, their love to our community. They should be enjoying their golden years without the added stress of increased service rates. Over the past 3 years, we've had inflation over 40% in some parts of the economy. Privatization often also leads to these increased prices and rates as private entities seek to recoup the investment and their profits. Can we in good conscience burden our elders with unforeseen expenses? Furthermore, let's think about how essential and reliable our sewer system is for their health, our children's health, and our future families' health. At an age when medical issues may be more frequent, the last thing we need is for them to deal with sewage problems that could have been prevented. I request that you have a recall vote for tonight.
Thank you. Anyone that's standing in the back, there are quite a few open seats up towards the front if anyone wants a seat. Mario Acker?
Good evening. Can everybody hear me here?
You're probably just a little closer.
Bring it back a little bit.
No, you weren't real close. Get a little closer, you weren't real loud.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
I can hear you, but I don't know.
Can everybody back there hear me? Okay, first, before I get started, I know I only have 2 minutes, so. Louder back there?
Just get a little closer. You probably take it off there.
How's it going?
That's better. That's better.
Okay, so what I want to do first is I want to clean up a little bit of disinformation that was given to the residents last time out. There was a township resident that asked the Board of Supervisors what the nucleus was for the sale of the sewer. It's funny, the first name that came out of your mouth, Diane, was Marion Wecker. You weren't even a supervisor back then, so you wouldn't have known because you didn't attend the meetings. Stop. Second, Maxine, you were the one that stood right up and said, yeah, it was Marion Wecker. I have proof in my hand here today from December 2020, December 14th. I recommend anybody that challenges that to go out and look at the website. It was Maxine Kaufman that brought up the sale. Thank you, Maxine. So, and I'm going to keep this simple. In 2020, September 2020, I was appointed as a supervisor to fill an unfinished term by Tony Miller, who became the township manager. 2021, I was voted to be the chairman of the board. In 2021, this board had some unique issues that came up before it. One of them being the Red Mill Road incident where a developer tried to build homes on that parcel of land. And Diane, you championed through a petition to get that stopped. But people came into the board during the meeting and vehemently said no. And this board unanimously decided to side with the residents. 2021, once again, we had an issue with a warehouse, and someone wanted to build a warehouse on Colhane Road. The residents came into the township meeting and vehemently said, no, we don't want another warehouse in Newberry Township, and the board once again sided with the residents. So there's nothing different here today. You can look at everybody here, and remember, every November, there's an election cycle, and you stand there and you ask these people to vote for you and put their trust in you. I don't think they're going to forget what you do here this evening, so I'm going to ask you guys to vote no. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine, thanks.
Who's this?
I just want to know, are you guys going to read anything that was emailed in response-wise regarding that?
You mean from the residents?
Yes.
I've read every email that was sent to me. I
Are you
responded.
reading them aloud? Okay. Then this is from a neighbor, and she asked me to make sure it was read so everybody could hear it. This is from Andrea Westover, her husband Jim Westover, and her son Cole Westover. They would like you to vote against the sale of the sewer system. Each one of them are property owners in Newberry Township, and they also own business, Trends Hair Salon. After attending the prior meetings and keeping an open mind, we all feel it would not be in the best interest for all of the residents of our township to sell the sewer plant, especially because it operates in the green. We understand that this is an avenue that you all were exploring, but it appears that many residents are very upset and against this as well. And our thought is that the township supervisors are in the place to listen to and advocate for the residents. So we hope that you are all hearing the people and do not proceed with this sale. Respectfully, Andrea Westover.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is like that.
Really tall.
Good evening. I'd just like to go over a few things. First, we're talking about the residents that are hooked into the sewer right now and what's it going to cost. And if you look at, a little further out, you look at every trailer park that's hooked in. You looked at every apartment and every townhouse that's rented out. Those renters, those residents in the mobile home parks, they're all going to be affected as well. That's not included in any of these numbers. You're looking at trailer parks alone, that's at least 565 more people. Okay, I don't know how many renters there are, but those two. When those sewer bills go to the landlords or the owners of the mobile home parks, which had no idea this was going on, because I've spoken to several of them. So that cost is going to get put out to all their tenants in their parks and so you need to calculate that in as well. As far as the businesses, majority of the businesses in this township are hooked into the sewer. Yeah, maybe some of the big ones, they can eat that cost. Walmart, Rudders, whatever. What about all the independents? All the ones that have to are leasing and those strip malls that we have. They're going to pass that cost on to the consumers. So it's not just the people that are hooked in or anything, it's every resident in this township that it's going to affect. And yeah, you might think it's not much, but over the years, it does calculate up. So I wanted to get that out. Then on this, we've heard there's debt in the township. This is why you need to sell. Or the sewer plant's in dire straits, it needs all these repairs. That's not true. It's not. And $53 million when it's sold, who's going to manage that money? That company, PFM, looking down over everything this township has, from their Quicken account to the $4 million loan to this exploratory process, and then getting their hands in. And first the guy said, okay, yeah, I know, I'm not.
Just finish your last statement there.
Okay. You have to look at what we're paying this company. They're making, $1 million just to do the exploratory process. If this is sold for $53 million, they're going to tell us whatever they want you to hear because they're going to make a big profit on this. And everything else they've done for us, it doesn't state how much they're making. They're making it a lot more than $1 million.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I'm going to yield my time to Will Toothacre, Goldsboro, and if I have time at the end, I'd like to speak. Thank you.
Will Toothaker, 55 Water Street, Edwardsville. The Goldsboro residents asked me to represent the Goldsboro residents against selling the sewer plant. Goldsboro currently has a bulk contract with Newberry Township to treat our sewage. How this sale will affect that existing contract is unknown. Goldsboro residents currently pay $150 per quarter and should expect to see in-kind quarterly increases in the future if the sale of the sewer system goes through. Brent Ziders, the plant operator, has always been available to provide support to us if we had any issues with the sewage flows between the two systems. Brent has performed maintenance and capital projects to the plant, and it is working at peak efficiency, to the point that several years ago, we had a discussion about potentially selling nitrogen credits back in the day. Additionally, this plant has the capacity to provide storage to the Fox Farm development, which has not been built yet, but potentially adds hundreds of homes to the sewer system. The sewer plant, being owned by Newbury Township, controls the cost, generates $500,000 per year for future projects, and also provides $100,000 for administrative fees to the township. Selling the sewer plant to a private, for-profit organization will burden the 48% of the township and the Goldsboro residents attached to the sewer plant to pay back $53 million over the next 12 years. A question out there, how much money did the township receive from the Tropical Storm Ida grants for damage to the sewer plant? DEP has identified failing sewer systems in the township and will need to extend sewage distribution into these areas. EDUs currently for the Newbury, Fox Farm, and White Oak interceptors are between $4,600 and $4,800 per home. And if you live within 150 feet, when that line goes in, you're going to be forced to attach to it. Also, what are the Township's Act 537 obligations that are not included in the sewer sale?
Thank you. Next, Tom Erb. Okay, I don't think, I did speak with Tom. I think he's mentioned he may not show up, but he did express his dissatisfaction in selling the system. So we'll move on to the next. Connie Flasher.
Let me yield my time to Jenny Marcel Kerslaski. She is with the Food and Water Action Group. And I'd like to also ask that when it comes time for the vote, that we do a roll call vote, not just a yay or nay.
Thank you. My name is Ginny Marcel Kerslake, and I'm the Eastern Pennsylvania organizer for Food and Water Watch. I want to begin with a cautionary tale from New Garden Township in Chester County. In 2016, New Garden signed an asset purchase agreement with Aqua PA to sell its sewer system for $29.5 million. It included a 2-year rate freeze, a cap on investment return, and a ratepayer relief fund to offset high rate increases. By the time the sale closed in 2020, New Garden had raised sewer rates by 30%, and the promise of a rate freeze and a cap had been removed from the agreement. Since 2018, the average New Garden ratepayer has seen their sewer bills increase 144%. And rates are expected to increase even further if Aqua makes the $10 million infrastructure investments that the township claimed in 2016 are needed and would lead to a 78% rate increase. And what about the promised relief fund? The supervisors voted that down in 2022. The good news is communities are now fighting these takeovers and winning. This includes last year when the largest sewer sale in U.S. history in Bucks County for $1.1 billion to Aqua was stopped because public opposition was so strong. These takeovers have been accelerating because Act 12 passed in 2016. Act 12 allows corporations to inflate the value of water and sewer systems, then recover that amount along with profits by raising rates. This makes it more profitable for companies to buy local systems and easier to entice local governments to sell them. It means a bigger candy jar. Both the buyer and the seller push for higher and higher purchase prices, and residents and businesses are forced to pick up the check. Yesterday, a bill to repeal Act 12 and stop predatory water and sewer privatization was introduced in Harrisburg. I invite everyone here to stop by the table on your way out and sign the petition to support this legislation to repeal Act 12. Thank you.
Next is Simon Gonzalez.
Good evening. My name is Sandra Gonzalez, and I live at 140 Oak Road in Grandview Acres. I really think this whole thing has kind of gotten a lot more convoluted than anyone thought it was going to. I really think you all had the best interest in the community when you began to inquire about this. I think you all clearly see with the opposition from the community that getting more of the figures in, seeing it from our point of view, I think you all have had a lot of second thoughts. In fact, my prediction is a 5-0 on this to shut it down. That's my prediction. I want to commend you guys for holding yourself so well. Tonight's meeting is far more congenial than the last two that I attended. I'm so glad to see so many more people from the community come out because I know that's what you guys wanted. Maxine, I met you right before the primary, and you had me stand all day at the primary handing out little pamphlets on the upcoming original special meeting because you wanted the people in this community to know that well, she had me do it. She recruited me, and she had me stand there the entire day because she felt it was so important for the people of this community to be part of the decision making. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the second meeting here that you've given us a chance to come and air our voices. I am on the public sewer, and I wouldn't want York Water in control of my sewer bill. You guys have done a far better job in control of my sewer bill than I think they ever will. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Kathy Rimmer. Kathy Rimmer. Dan Almeroy.
I apologize.
Good evening, my name is Dan Almany, 335 Fairway Drive, community activist and former candidate for state representative. I know I emailed all of you, thank you to the three of you who actually responded. And thank you to the residents for coming out. This is a big deal, and it's very important that we stand up and speak our minds, especially to Jane for all of her hard work and organization. In fact, she's been planning and doing a better job of this whole situation than it seems most of you have. From the beginning, it's been poor planning. It's been wasted money. The money that was delivered to the PMF would have probably covered most of the costs of updating the sewer. The plans continue to be vague, even in the handout tonight. There's a mention of property enhancements that would require residents to hook up. What are those requirements? What are those improvements? How are those defined? Again, continues to be vague. And the fact of the matter is this is, as we've just heard from the woman, this is a disturbing trend that has been taking place all across the Commonwealth. Started in 2016. It will likely continue. And I'll tell you, everybody right here, right now, don't look for help from your local representative. All right? Because I was trying to pull it up, and I may run out of time, but I guarantee you she voted in favor of Act 12. So, thank you.
Thank you. Rock Bonanno. Did I get that right?
It was close. It wasn't the worst thing I've been called. I'd just like to keep this short. I'm not much of a public speaker, but I'd really like to just strongly oppose the sale to each and every one of you. Got a lot of people behind me that feel the same. And just know that however you guys vote, we won't forget come election. Thank you.
Thank you. I know I won't get this right. Jason is in
He said average. Yes. The only thing I'd like to say is, from what I've researched and seen, the sewer department has been profitable its entire. So why would we want to sell a profitable business for a get rich quick scheme?
Thank you. William Clark. William Clark.
Hi, William Clark, 5 South River Street, Edwards, Pennsylvania. I was wondering if we have a representative here from York Water?
No.
No? So I wouldn't be able to ask if they had any policies or something in effect that would aid senior citizens in helping pay the bill. We are on a limited budget. And the selling of this sewer system will affect Goldsboro. I am hooked to it, okay? And since I probably won't be able to get an answer if they have a policy.
Here, sir, would you take this? This does help with the situation you're just talking about. If you need help, I'm happy to help.
Thank you.
Don't count on it. Very little, very little.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have David Yost.
First thing I have here is residents of other communities who hooked up to our next door when we were writing things. And a lady from Middletown said, "I'm not in your neighborhood, so I'm not certain of the situation, but if this is anything like Middletown sewer sale, it will end badly for your residents. Good luck." And two people from Fairview, "Good luck, residents of Edders. Fairview residents were duped like this and we fell for it. Rates are out of control." Another person from Fairview, "Way to go, Newbury, keep it up. I wish Fairview would have fought harder." My thoughts on our sewer system is up to date and in good order, contrary to what York Water has said. They use the example of the one pump station that's 33 years old. That 33-year-old pump station services 28 people. If the electric goes off, it only needs pumped. It only needs pumped once every 24 hours. Now, to put a $100,000, $200,000 generator on there is kind of ridiculous. So, God was cherry picking stuff. We do have four pump stations that have generators. He said we had one, maybe. Our wastewater coordinator, I don't know why he gave that kind of title, but our wastewater coordinator plans out a number of years what is needed for the future. We have money in the bank. Of course, there won't be any excess this year because we've got to spend $570,000 to run to our new police station. If the sewer is sold, we will not have a better sewer system. We will have much more costly rates, not for maintenance or upgrades or repairs, but because we will have 2 more levels of people with their hands out. The CEO and his people and the water company shareholders. We do not need this sale. Please vote this down.
Thank you. Mike Demkowski.
Thank you. Mike Demkowski, 135, Papa John's Drive. Been here since '79. I always thought the purpose of elected representatives would be to represent, obviously, the interests of their constituents. And last time, I did not speak because I wanted to hear everything, heard a lot from the audience, all basically negative. I was listening to some of the pros that you mentioned, and first of all, I didn't hear any pro comments or possibilities for sewer users. There was nothing. The positives I did hear were for the township, which actually were negatives for sewer users. We were going to have a cash fund for the township that is going to be paid in perpetuity by sewer users. The whole district, okay, will benefit from that and not have to pay the cost. And I believe some of you are not sewer users, so you actually are going to benefit from this. You are voting on something that you will benefit from. 20 years ago, I served on the school board, and one of the things when something would benefit me, I had to recuse myself from voting. It was just, legally, ethically, legitimately, I should not vote on that. You are going to financially gain from this, unless you decide someday to impose a septic assessment fee every year that also commensurates with our sewer costs. And then that would be balanced out. The backs from the sewer users, assessment fee from the septic to pay for all these things that you plan on doing. You're going to sell a legitimate public asset that is actually runs in the black, subsidizes our tax base. It subsidizes our taxes are already reduced. And now I'm not sure if you want to further reduce our tax liability to pay for the police building. I don't know. Other liabilities. Maybe you don't want to raise taxes. I can understand that if I was up there on that board. But you don't put it on the backs of 50% or 48% of our residents. You create a two-tier tax system in this district. And this township is two-tier. That's what you are looking at the cash grab, the shiny golden object. You grab that money. These people, they're playing the long game on this. They see the financial benefit for this. You can't see, you know the developments that happen around here.
Okay, thank you.
Your sewers will be built. You're selling the golden goose. You're not thinking long term. They're playing chess. You're playing checkers.
All right, thank you.
Can you hear me okay? Okay. So I don't have a lot to say. I said a lot in the first meeting. I think that's been, I'm sorry, Kimberly Hewitt, 445 Paddletown Road. I believe Mr. Haskins, or Harkins, you and I had some words last time. So I'm going to leave that pretty minimal. But what I will say is that we have elected you to represent this township and do what is in the best interest of every single person. And that includes the 48% that are on the sewer system. And you cannot expect that every person that's on the sewer system is going to flip the bill for this. That is unequitable, and it's really unethical. I ask you to vote no. Thank you.
Well, next was Will, but Gary spoke. We'll move to Brawl Perkins.
Hi, Brown Perkins, 430 Red Mountain Road, Metters. I have two questions for you. We've heard several people representing other townships that have talked about how it has not been good for them. Why do you think that this will be different for us? That's a question I want you to answer, please.
I've heard everyone's concerns, and
no, I want you to tell me why you think.
The answer.
Okay.
I've heard everyone's concerns. I've heard everyone's comments, and after all the comments, I don't think it'll be different. That's all I'll say.
You don't think it'll be different?
Correct.
So you think that it'll be just as bad as Middletown,
I'd say
Garden,
I'd say it's possible.
Fairview?
I'd say it's
Okay,
possible.
okay. So then why do you think that this will not be detrimental to us? You said that. Because all of that was detrimental.
This process was started.
Simple question. Why do you not think that this will be detrimental
We're
to the
going to
residents of this
tonight,
township?
and you'll know how I don't think. this
No,
process.
I
was
want to
started.
know now why you think it will not be detrimental to the residents of the township. You said you think it's going to be good for us. How will it be good for us? All of us.
I personally.
I know, you
my thought
personally think it's
process
good.
has changed on this, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Me? I thought you said, oh, I said my thought process has changed on this. That's all I was saying. Next town resident. John Williams.
John Williams, 185 Hemlock Lane.
We can't hear you.
John Williams, 185 Hemlock Lane. Board, thanks for choosing a nice venue this time. And I do have a question for Brent. I don't know how much of a Rain Man you are, but has there in the past year been any months that you've treated more than 14 million gallons of plant? Be about 4,000 gallons a household per tap. Okay, all right. And last time at the meeting, I spoke to each one of you, and you said that you would like to give a resolve that has similar conditions for the current sewer patrons and no financial consequences, negative. Right now, we're running one no cap. 149 has been the rate per quarter for the last decade. I've been looking at some of the slides from the June 26th meeting and some of the projections, even if we didn't sell the sewer. I get it, I don't know if PFM or, what I mean, hey, raise it some, just because it hasn't been raised in a decade. It seems to be more of a stabilizer, because when I raise it annually by 3%, just an arbitrary number, it comes out to paying about $800 a year in 10 years, versus I think it was closer to $1,550. That's about a double. All these numbers that it's on my presentation packet for tonight, it's called page 1, but it was actually stated, it was the last page of my packet. It was titled Illustration of Township Resident Impact. And in that chart, it says the positive number reflects the benefit. All those numbers, the benefits, they correlate to what the sewer users would be paying. It's not just free money. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Nancy Bowler. Charlene Fry.
Hi, it's Carlene Fry.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, no worries. 1925 York Haven Road. So we were told at the township, township building meeting, the last meeting where you tabled the vote, that you wanted to do so to give the people, more people, a chance to make their voices heard, perhaps the people who were in support of this. I'm still waiting to hear from those people. Also, I find it interesting that you mentioned that you're not on social media. I totally get that. But that's the only way that I found out about this meeting, was social media. I don't think you guys did your due diligence to make sure that people knew about this meeting. The sewer bills just got delivered. Couldn't you have just stuffed the paper in the envelope? Very good point. Okay, now I do have a question. So your Act 537 obligations, they stay with the township. I don't have a college degree. I don't necessarily understand what's written on here, but it says that the obligations to do any future improvement to the sewage facility still remain with the township if you sell, is that correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, that's
Okay, yeah, isn't that amazing? You guys put that out as, okay. On this handout that they have back there, it says that under Act 537, it is the township's responsibility to correct and prevent problems with the sewage, even if it's sold.
It doesn't mean we pay for it.
You put that to us in at the fire hall as a reason for selling that, oh, we can't take care of our sewage facility, so we're going to give this to York Water Company to take care of. It says right here, we'll still be responsible for taking care of that.
I
guess my time's done. You can address that.
But I'll respond a little bit to that. So the 537, and James, if I say anything wrong, correct me. The 537 is like future sewer line improvements, like extensions to areas of need. So the 537 designates areas of need in the future that for failing systems, communities that need sewer because they have failing systems, that they're on holding tanks. That's something that the township still would control, and they submit the DEP approval to do the extensions. Then we would request York Water to do the extensions. It doesn't give us any, we don't have any liability. It's not like we're maintaining anything. That's all the 537 basically says. If we need communities that need sewer because of failing systems, you submit the DEP and they then approve or deny that, and then we could require York to run those systems. That's basically, is that a pretty fair? So it wouldn't, I mean, that's as simple as I can say that. I don't know if it clears anything up or not. But, next, I apologize, I can't read your writing. It's very unique writing. It's nice, but I can't read the letters. 20 Hillcrest Circle. Well, believe it or not, I write first of all, so it's nice writing, but I couldn't read the first letter.
George Knoll, 20 Hillcrest Circle, Leonard. A question just came up. You talked about the 537 plan and all it is as a planning tool and stuff like that. Let me ask this question. Who is responsible for enforcing the mandatory hookups? You or York Water?
By ordinance.
Hookup, it's on hearing. So the hookup was passed by ordinance 25 years ago. The township is responsible for enforcing the mandatory hookups when a line is run within 150 feet. It is an ordinance that is enforced.
Okay, so you can't just sell off your responsibility there. But, you know, what I really wanted to say was, I read all this material, and it's all based on assumptions. And from what I can tell, the assumptions are mostly unicorns and rainbows and glitter. Your agreement to sell cannot control what's going to happen to York Water Company in the future. Okay? They can merge, they can change corporate structure, they can do whatever they want in such a way that there'll be no rate relief, there'll be no payments to the township, there'll be none of that. Right? And whatever you decide happens with that money as a board stops when a new board's elected. New board can come in and say, oh, we got $52 million here, let's go to Aruba. So there is no guarantees that any of the stuff that you have at PMF or what the propaganda that your water company put out can come to pass, because there's no way you can guarantee any of that stuff. except to say no to the sale. Thank you.
Thank you. Nevin Shank. Nevin Shank.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm not going to talk about facts and figures and things like that. What I'm going to say is, I attended the last meeting that you folks had, and I thank you that night for having that. I thank you for having this. At that meeting, the residents spoke, and they spoke against it, and I know you folks heard it. I don't recall a single individual resident standing up and saying, this is a good idea. Next night was a township meeting. I attended that. Residents spoke again, and they spoke against it again. And I don't recall one person saying, this is a good idea. I give you folks credit. You made a decision to postpone your decision, so thank you for doing that, and thank you for having this again tonight. It's a good move. Once again, I heard the residents speaking, and up until now, no one said it's a good idea. Personally, I think that the township, if they sell a very viable sewage system, will gain a short-term benefit, but the long-term loss to the township is significant, and the long-term loss to the residents is even more significant. So I hope you think hard about your decision, and I hope you listened again, and hope you've heard us, and get the point that the majority of your residents, that's who's showing up, there's a bunch of people here, don't think this is a good idea. Again, short-term benefit, perhaps, long-term loss of a viable system, and a long-term loss to cost due to the residents who live in this township. So thanks again for listening, and I hope you'll all vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have David Lash.
Thank you. My name is David Lash. I reside at 670 Whistler Road here in Eders, Pennsylvania, or for out of town, Eders, Pennsylvania. I think you guys saw $53 million as dollar signs. York Water first offered, what, 35 million? 30 million. And what they did was upped up the ante again, makes it look a lot better. That is not right. As I said at the meeting at the township, I said, look around. See how many folks here are retired or going to be retired very soon. I am on a fixed income, so as well as the other people. If you raise this, and they raise the price of the cost of this every quarter, a lot of the residents will not be able to afford it. You'll be seeing a lot of homes for sale. York County York County Water buys up all of these townships and they become a monopoly. When you become a monopoly, you go to the PUC and say, we need to raise our rates. PUC says, you are now a big guy, and we are going to let you raise those prices. So my vote is, please vote no. The last thing I want to say, if you want to fix something, fix your sound system at the township. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Tim and Ken Ackery. Mike Schaefer.
Mike Schaefer, 10 Springhouse Circle, Veterans, PA. I just want to thank all of you for having the meeting here and get more residents in here to see what's going on. I think, Maxine, you asked to see 90%. That's a pipe dream. You'll never see 90%. There's many people that can't make these but are concerned about what's going on in the township. I like to get to the crux of the thing. When I can see a township run a sewer plant and be in the black for 11 years and no rate hikes, and then on the next hand I see someone who wants to buy it for this astronomical number, and then at the end of that 10 years, we're going to be at a 220% increase for 48% of the population in the township. You have a big responsibility here. You want to think about this long and hard. If you're going to vote yes, you want to think about that long and hard, about the people that you're going to hurt and the preferences you're going to set about what you're doing. I've been in acquisitions many a times, and these employees that work for the township right now in the sewer plant, they may not be there. And I can tell you that from business that I've been in over the years, that employees don't always go with that business. And if you think they do, you better read up on a little bit of that as well. That's all I got to say. I hope now.
Thank you. Doug Ross.
You already spoke for me.
David Kinsey.
Hello, I'm Dave Kinsey. I live at 230 Sam Sneed Circle. I'm retired, and my 401k tanked. Thank God for Social Security, my other pension. I want to say this. Times are tight for me and lots of retired people like myself. My prescriptions are astronomical. I say that because, gosh, what do I do? I mean, if the sewer rates go up that high, that's going to really negatively impact me. Realize I'm powerless, but I'm hoping some of you will, or all of you will vote this down. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Myers.
Hi, my name is Kathy Myers. I live at 355 Juniper Drive in Edders. I did attend the last meeting and I just sat and listened because I didn't really know what was going on. I'm a homeowner, not a sewer person, so I'm very against this so far. I think it would really negatively affect my family. We've all been talking about just our sewer bill, but I really also think that if you sell this and have this, 10-year projection of raising our rates, it's going to also affect our home values because no one's going to want to buy into that. It's unfair to make only half the community pay for like something the whole community benefits from. And if you sell this and I end up having a high sewer bill, like I can't shop around for this. I can shop around for my cable, my internet, my car insurance, all those things, but this I am handcuffed to unless I move. That is it. It's not like it can go away. It's not like I can go somewhere else. So I really hope you guys vote no tonight, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tina Velez. Tina Velez. Jimmy Hornside, 120 Oak Road. That's all that signed up. Jane, do you want your 2 minutes?
Oh, please, thank you very much.
Thank you for all the residents for showing up for support. I have a couple things. I was going to start with something else, but today I got an email and it just piqued my attention, and I wanted to go back and change what I was saying to something else. So I'm going to read this, okay? Don't start my minutes so I get my email. Okay, this was from a resident that wrote, they sent an email to the supervisors. I'm sure you received tons of them, but I'm going to read just a part of it. It was from Diane. The response was from Diane. It says, "Thank you for your email and sharing your thoughts. I believe we all are doing the right thing tonight for our residents. The cost of living has been a hardship for many people and who still work, and also those on a fixed income," which is true. 15,600 residents, 3,100 on the sewer. That's slightly under 20%. The numbers got a little sloppy from folks. I've been giving the numbers, and I am a number cruncher, as you know that from prior meetings for the last 2 years. So I was kind of like, what, 20%? Well, where's she getting these figures? So I went back and I wanted to set the record straight. So I wrote, "Diane, I want to set you straight on your numbers. A resident reached out to me by forwarding part of your email. When we were talking sewer, we aren't talking about every single resident. We're talking homes. West Shore School District, 5,250. Northeastern School District, 2,126. Equals 7,376. Total connections to the sewer is 3,564. And if you want to break it down, it's 375 Goldsboro residents, 289 residents, for a total of 3,464. And this is not including businesses. So that's approximately 48%, not 20%. I'm not sure if you're intentionally being deceitful or you're being disingenuous to the residents. You should know this township has many fact checkers and number crunchers. It was only 20%, but even worse thinking that 20%, me included in that number, will bear the consequences of the decision tonight to pay for 80% who benefit with no impact to their pockets. The board listened to you and made the right decision when you were opposed to the land development across from your home. It didn't take 3 meetings for them to hear from just a few residents for that. My final word, please listen to the public tonight and make the right decision on your vote. Vote no. Hold on, I want to write one more thing here. Well, she wrote back, "Then if my math is incorrect based on the information I was given, I stand corrected. There is no intentional play here. I respect that. But my thing is, if this is the numbers you were given, the numbers that you have been going through this whole shenanigans for the last 1.5 years, you should really recheck these numbers. Do fact checking, do all that like your residents out here have done today. Please listen to us. We've done the homework. This is a terrible decision if you vote yes."
All right, thank you. Okay, there will be more chance for public comment after we move on to old business. I know you want to speak again. You did speak. You can speak again after old business.
Mr. Chairman, are we under old business?
We are moving on to old business. Yes, I'm looking for motions.
I'm looking for a motion to reject all bids for the sewer pipe.
You have specific agenda items that you have to vote on. If you're amending the agenda items by saying you're rejecting all bids, it's a yes or a no vote on each agenda item. Okay, that's the way you have it structured.
All right, then I make a motion that we reject the $30 million bid from the.
Mr. Supervisor, it's a motion to vote whether to approve or not approve the $30 million bid would be the first agenda item. And then the second agenda item would be a motion to approve or reject the $53 million. If you want to amend and word it the way that you would like, then we would need to go through that process, open it up for public comment again, and then vote on that. I just want to make sure we're following the proper process.
James, now you got me.
I'm looking for a motion to approve or reject your Water's $30 million.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
What is it?
All those in favor of selling the sewer system to York Water for the $30 million bid, please state aye.
Mr. Chairman, if you're doing a roll call, then the names need to be read off. Mr. Miller, would you read off the names?
He doesn't have it.
No. Would you like me to read?
No.
I don't have a mic, but.
Mr. Kirkpatrick?
No sale.
Ms. Kaufman? Ms. Schellenhammer?
No sale?
Mr. Wintermeyer? Mr. Harkins?
No sale. Next item of business, I'm looking for a motion to approve the sale of York Water or not approve the sale of York Water for the $53 million bid.
I make a motion, we not sale for $53 million to York Water.
I'll second that. You can't do that.
The motion is to approve the $53 million bid put forth by York Water. You either aye
Okay.
or nay.
I'm looking for a motion to approve the sale of the sewer system to York Water for the $53 million bid.
I guess I won't do that, yeah.
Is that a second, Mr. Kirkpatrick?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay.
That where we're at? Okay.
And we'll do a roll call vote?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Kirkpatrick?
No.
Ms. Kaufman?
No sale?
Mr. Harkins?
No sale.
Motion we adjourn.
Well,
Mr. Chairman? Public comment one more time, and then motion.
okay, I did ask that, never one. No public comment?
We want to thank
Need more motion?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks, everybody.